AITA for telling my sister that my special needs niece is not my responsibility? Before I am 40 got married to my wife 33, we talked about every in advance.
It was silly stuff at first.
How we squeezed toothpaste, which direction the toilet paper roll should face, that sort of thing. But as our relationship progressed, we talked about more serious stuff. How we would discipline our children, living wills, and what we would do if we knew we were having a child with severe special needs. We decided together that we didn't want to do that to a human. To bring them into the world to suffer. We were lucky enough that it wasn't ever something we had to deal with. I had told my sister this because she is my best friend. She went running to our parents saying that we were terrible people who would terminate a pregnancy that wasn't going to give us a perfect child. I never said that. We had to spend days explaining that we knew what we could handle and what we could deal with. My parents weren't happy. Well, unfortunately, my sister 36 did not have this talk with her husband. When she was pregnant with their second child, the doctor told them that the child would have many health issues. They prayed about it and went forward with the pregnancy. My niece is 9 now. And my sister now has an ex-husband. The medical expenses drained all their savings. And he could not handle knowing that caring for his daughter was going to be something he had to do for the rest of her life. We just had Thanksgiving and my sister is having a tough time. My niece is in diapers and will be for the rest of her life. My sister can't work because she would need special childcare. No daycare would do. Prescriptions are hundreds if not thousands every month. My parents are helping her, but my dad has had to postpone his retirement to be able to give her money. My wife and I help with about $500 a month. It's not much, but it still puts a hole in our budget. My sister wants to move in with me, so my wife, who works from home, and my mill who lives with us to help with our children, can help her with my niece. We don't have room for 3 more people. Or the budget to make out house accessible. So I told her that we are not responsible for her life choices. My parents are saying that I need to step up and help. Or that they will give everything to my sister when they pass away. I told them that this was a great idea. My family doesn't want or need their money and that they should set up a trust for her now. I guess that wasn't the answer they wanted because everyone in the family is calling me an asshole for not taking care of my sister and niece. So I guess I'm asking if I'm the asshole for not wanting to be in a situation I intentionally avoided. NTA. Expectations are too high. Am I reading this right that she thinks your mother-in-law would provide care for your niece, a child who has no relation to her? Yes. That's what they expect. NTA. Your niece isn't your responsibility. Your sister needs to talk to get your niece on disability if she hasn't done so and look into group homes. This little girl is going to be too big to lift without help in a few years. Probably the best you can do is to try and help look for resources that will make her life easier. We are all over that. But there are still a lot of expenses that need to be paid. NTA. It's unreasonable to ask that you take 2 additional people into your home, that your WFH wife provide personal care while she's supposed to be doing the job she's being paid to do, and that your mill can take in caring for her child in addition to your own children. Like, WTF. Your entire household would revolve around your special needs niece, with your family's needs being secondary, because everyone else in the house can function independently. That would be very destructive to your family. If everyone else in the family thinks it's such a terrific idea to have your sister and her daughter move in with another family member and expect everyone in the household to help care for the daughter, why aren't they stepping up and offering to do what they expect of you? AITA for making my siblings cry and not being adopted by our stepdad so they can be? So my dad died when I, 16F, was 7 and my siblings were 5F and 4M. Mom was remarried 14 months later. It was fast, she was not cheating, she just moved quickly. It wasn't great for me, but my siblings love stepdad, and a year after he married our mom they wanted to be adopted. I did not. They gave it another couple of years before bringing it forward anyway. A judge decided to speak to me and send me to a therapist. In the end, the judge declared he could not adopt me but could adopt my siblings. Seems he normally approved adoption regardless, but he realized that I didn't secretly want it but felt guilty. Mom said she would not let me be left out of that. But I never wanted it. The topic comes up a lot and it upsets my siblings that they can't be adopted because I say no. They love him and call him dad and want him to be their full dad. Whereas I never saw him as my dad, and truthfully, I don't love him. I appreciate him for stepping up and being here. But he will never be as important to me as he is to them or as my dad and mom were. Mom and I have a shaky relationship now because of this stuff. My siblings sat me down a few days ago and said we needed to talk. That they wanted to be adopted. I told them to talk to mom then. They said mom will never let me be left behind. They told me how it would be for them if I said yes to being adopted, that my stepdad is a good man and it would be good for me and for him because it would show him that I love him. They don't know that I don't feel that way. I said I would never let another man adopt me and I only have one dad and I would not change that for them. They said that means they can never be adopted. I told them adult adoption is a thing if they want it, but the answer from me is never. They started to get upset and my sister cried. My brother was frustrated. My mom and stepdad told me I was being unfair by not trying more for my siblings' sakes. AITA? NTA, absolutely. But your mom and stepdad sure are. There's no reason they can't go ahead and adopt your siblings. Instead, they're not adopting and blaming you for their decision. That's manipulative and deliberately cruel to all three kids. Sounds like the mom doesn't want them to be adopted. Mom wants them to be a perfectly blended Brady Bunch family, and they can't have that if Op keeps her last name and always insists stepdad is still stepdad and not just dad. What she fails to see is she is ruining her relationship with her daughter and ruining her daughter's relationship with her siblings and stepfather by putting the pressure and blame on Op for them not being adopted. NTA. Sounds to me like mom is attempting to manipulate you into accepting an adoption you don't want by using them. This is very unfair to you. I'm so sorry. You need to tell her again that she should let stepdad adopt them without you and reassure her that you won't feel left behind and that unlike them you remember your father and don't want to be adopted by someone new. It's terribly emotionally manipulative of her and them to do this to you. Stick to your guns. Hopefully she will change her mind about this ridiculous package deal she's come up with and a happier solution will be found for your family. No. Your mom is the one who created this situation and is continuing to be unfair by refusing to change her mind. It's not fair to you to have to be pressured by her and your siblings into an unwanted adoption. It's not fair to paint you as the one who's responsible for your siblings not getting adopted when it's entirely her choice that's preventing it. It's also not fair for your siblings to be made to resent you over something that could easily be resolved by your mother. NTA.